Tonight on SUTV News, SHIP leads the way in early childhood education.
And an update on the California wildfires.
All that and more right now.
Thanks for joining us on SUTV News. I'm Nolan Huffman.
And I'm Callan Cole. While many think of homecoming as a time to enjoy football, tailgate, and catch up with old friends, others use it as a time to give back to their community. During the 2019 homecoming weekend, members of the SHIP community helped out with a variety of service projects. This year's homecoming proceeds were raised by a number of alumni and student volunteers. On Friday, October 18th, close to 50 alumni and students volunteered at King's Kettle Food Pantry. The pantry, a known service learning aid for SHIP students, supplies families with foods and goods within the Shippensburg area. On Saturday, Shippensburg University Army ROTC hosted 174 runners throughout their annual 5K, 10K race. The proceeds from this race will be donated to the Boulder Crest Retreat for Military and Veteran Wellness. But the SHIP community didn't stop there. This year, Homecoming Court selected Shippensburg Produce Outreach, SPO, as this year's homecoming community program. The court raised $10,932 and donated 238 service hours to SPO. SPO provides fresh fruit, vegetables, eggs, and dairy to those in need. Shippensburg's Communications Department received a prestigious award last week. SUTV's Andrew Hybeck has the story.
The Public Relations Student Society of America, or PRSSA, held its national conference last week to give out its Star Chapter Awards. Shippensburg chapter of PRSSA, based out of Rowland Hall here on campus, brought home the award for the university. The award recognizes chapters who have shown exceptional work in the PR field. Receiving a Star Chapter Award from PRSSA is no easy feat. Out of 300 chapters in the United States, only 22 brought home the award after last week's conference in San Diego, California. I caught up with Shippensburg chapter president Vanessa Grzybowski to talk with her about how they brought home that Golden Star.
Really a big deal. We're really excited. We were also one of the only PASHE schools to receive the award, so it really shows that we're really meeting up the expectations of our curriculum here at Shippensburg.
SHIP's chapter of PRSSA works with multiple real-world businesses, including the International Studies Club, as well as Raspberry Jam, a local boutique and gift shop. When asked about the challenges of working with these businesses, Grzybowski said reaching their intended audience was crucial.
And show them the correct way to get PR, show engagement through the people that they are trying to engage with, as well as an effective way to do that.
According to Grzybowski, even students who aren't seeking a PR concentration can benefit from being members of PRSSA. The national organization teaches students, quote, invaluable interpersonal communication skills that Grzybowski thinks can help them out in any profession. I'm Andrew Hybeck reporting for SUTV. Back to you guys at the desk.
SHIP students can sign up for PRSSA by speaking to the chapter's advisor, Dr. Carrie Sipes, or by visiting www.shipprssa.org.
Shippensburg University has received a state grant to help ramp up its early childhood development program. The university was part of an $11.8 million grant awarded to 4 schools to be administered over the course of 2 years. SHIP will be partnered with East Stroudsburg, Edinburgh, and Lock Haven universities to see out this initiative. SHIP's Dr. Jennifer Piles is heading up the program, whose goal is to, quote, enhance the preparedness of educators and work with the students from birth to 5 years old, end quote. Shippensburg Provost Dr. Tom Ormond says that this is a significant achievement for the state system and hopes that this grant will help state schools become further prepared to meet early childhood education needs. The grant will provide $5.9 million to the recipients annually over the course of the next 2 years. With class registration starting up this week, I put together a quick crash course on how to register for spring 2020. Take a look.
If
If any students are not familiar with how to register for new classes, what you're going to do is start off by logging into your Shippensburg student account and click on the Student tab and select the My Academic sub-tab. Once you're in there, the right of the page should be a heading called Registration Tools, and under that, you want to click on the tab Register for Classes. After you click on that, it should bring up a page that says select a term, and drop down it says Terms Open for Registration, and you want to click on Spring 2020. Following that, your advisor should have gave you a PIN for registration, and it will ask you to put in that exact PIN right below it. All you have to do now is go to the next page and put all your PINs in order, and you should be set for Spring 2020. I'm Nolan Huffman with SUTV News. Undergraduate registration began on October 28th and ends November 14th.
SHIP's Colleges Against Cancer organization has officially kicked off their events leading up to their annual fundraiser, Relay for Life, next spring. SUTV's Carmine Chicatano has the story.
Colleges Against Cancer is a student-run program at over 50 colleges to support the fight against cancer, according to the American Cancer Society website. The organization collects donations to go directly to the American Cancer Society and help raise money for similar events, such as the Relay for Life.
Colleges Against Cancer has been going on for about 20 years now at the university. However, we didn't have that many interests with it. So the past 2 years, we decided to do a quad fest like we're doing today, and that really brings up interest for our biggest event that we hold, Relay for Life.
This year, the Relay for Life occurs on Friday, March 27th, 2020. However, at the end of the fall semester, Colleges Against Cancer is holding another event for students to get involved.
On December 7th, which is a Saturday, it's the next day right after last day of classes, we're going to be having an event in Shipwreck. We're going to have a basketball tournament. There's going to be 7 people per team. It's going to be $5 per person to join the team.
You can follow the Shippensburg University Colleges Against Cancer at SU_CAC 2019 on Twitter and Instagram.
I would definitely recommend joining Colleges Against Cancer. This is my 3rd year, and I regret not joining my freshman year. We do so much on campus. We get involved not only on campus, but as well in community life as well. So it's a great cause, and you meet a lot of friends in the long run.
For SUTV News, I'm Carmine Chicatano.
SHIP's chapter is one of hundreds nationwide dedicated to eliminating cancer. Governor Tom Wolf is making a big change to how Pennsylvanians vote. The new bill passed on Tuesday will provide voters with new voting options, such as voting by mail and extended registration deadlines. Governor Wolf is pleased with the bill and said, quote, Pennsylvania has gone from collectively being the state least friendly to voters to a national leader in voting and election security reforms, end quote. This new system will be available by the 2020 presidential election. Hundreds of fires are blazing across California today as firefighters work throughout the state to contain the flames, even as new fires spring up. But officials say despite the conditions, things may be looking up. Daryl Forges is in Ventura County, where hurricane-force winds have fueled the infernos, threatening homes and forcing thousands of evacuations. Take a look.
Fires across California continue to rage. Wildfires burning for days are still spreading as new infernos ignite throughout the Golden State. In San Bernardino, several homes set ablaze as the hillside fires spread rapidly into neighborhoods before dawn.
Approximately 1:40 this morning, we were dispatched to a vegetation fire. At this point, initial assessments are we have 6 homes and 2 outbuildings consumed or damaged by the fire.
High winds threaten to stoke the flames further as millions in Southern California remain under red flag warnings.
When we first got on scene of the fire, we had a wind-driven, rapid rate of spread fire heading downhill into the city of San Bernardino. The weather is going to be a challenge to us today.
In Northern California, officials are optimistic, saying they made progress towards containing the week-old Kincaid fire.
There is still a risk for the fire to spread, but if you look at the numbers for the last several days, the fire has not gotten significantly larger. We're not expecting heavy wind conditions for the next 7 days, so we should be able to stay very well secured with this fire.
Fortunately, residents can begin to breathe a sigh of relief as the winds will lighten up heading into the weekend. In Ventura County, I'm Daryl Forges.
According to the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, more than 200,000 people remain without power in Northern California.
The U.S. House of Representatives has approved a resolution to formalize its procedures for the impeachment inquiry into President Trump. Thursday's vote was 232 to 196 and sets out how lawmakers will move the inquiry into its next phase. It was the first time the full House chamber took a vote related to the matter. The resolution only details the process of inquiry, which will include public hearings likely beginning before Thanksgiving. An issue is a whistleblower complaint alleging that Trump tried to pressure Ukraine into investigating former Vice President and presidential candidate Joe Biden and his son. Diplomats have testified about the July phone call and whether Trump intended to use military aid for the country as leverage for an investigation. President Trump denies any wrongdoing in that controversial call with Ukraine's leader, which is at the center of the inquiry. A disturbing case of apparent animal cruelty and neglect in Pennsylvania. Roughly 150 animals, dogs, cats, and chickens, rescued from squalid conditions at 2 locations Wednesday. Local officials say a large number of cats were being kept in a rundown church. They did not appear to have access to food or water. There were also cats living in crates in the dark basement of a home, along with about 20 chickens.
The conditions are truly horrible. They're filthy conditions. There are a lack of veterinarian care, mostly upper respiratory infections.
When we come back in World News, Greta Thunberg is a declining award until climate movement action is taken.
And a Belgian truck driver was surprised to find he was transporting more than his usual delivery of fruits and veggies. Stay tuned. What's coming up in the upcoming issue of the Slate? Brianne Shekels has more.
Coming up in the Slate on Tuesday, we will cover both men's and women's soccer and swimming, as well as volleyball and football. Other stories include coverage on the Disability Studies lecture and feature stories on the homecoming king and queen. Be sure to pick up the next edition of the Slate in newsstands on and off campus or at theslateonline.com.
Police in Hong Kong are preparing for protests on Halloween night.
Brady Fisher has this week's World News. Brady?
Hong Kong police are bracing for trouble as Halloween celebrations get underway. There are fears that pro-democracy demonstrators will try to march to a popular club district that hosts an annual Halloween celebration because protesters and partygoers may both be wearing masks. It may be hard for police to determine who is who. This is the 2-month anniversary of a violent clash between protesters and police at a Hong Kong subway station. 12 migrants have been found alive in a refrigerated truck in Belgium, the Belgium Federal Police confirmed to CNN Wednesday. The refrigerated truck was transporting fruits and vegetables near the municipality of Oud Turnhout in the north of the country. The truck driver contacted the police after suspecting people were hiding in his vehicle. A spokesman for the prosecutor's office in Antwerp, Christoph Ertz, told CNN that 11 migrants are from Syria and 1 is from Sudan. The federal police said the presumed migrants were in good health and are being questioned. Teen climate change activist Greta Thunberg declined to accept an environmental prize, saying that instead of awards, the climate movement needs more action. The 16-year-old was awarded $52,000 2019 Nordic Council Environmental Prize on Tuesday, which she acknowledged was a, quote, huge honor on an Instagram post. The Swedish teenager said that she will decline the award until Nordic countries take the actions she considers necessary to change the world. Thunberg called out Sweden and Norway on her Instagram post because she claims they, quote, still basically do nothing to battle climate change. The activist said there is a large gap between what science says is necessary and the politics that run the Nordic countries, and that she sees no signs of the change required. Details are emerging of a possible new leader for the terrorist group ISIS. According to the U.S. State Department, a man who goes by the name Haji Abdallah could be the successor to Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who died during a raid by U.S. Special Forces over the weekend. Recently, a $5 million reward was offered for Haji's capture. Even without Baghdad, the EU is warning ISIS remains a major threat. And then there is the estimated 10,000 ISIS prisoners held in Kurdish camps. What will be their fate? CNN's Sam Kiley reports.
Mostly captured on the battlefields, allegedly fighting for the so-called Islamic State. They're malnourished and weakened, but these men still pose a potent threat. Their guards are from the Kurdish-dominated Syrian Democratic Forces, and they're all that stand between these men and freedom to rebuild a terrorist army.
The Syrian Democratic Forces are responsible for detaining nearly 10,000 ISIS fighters. This is their responsibility and a burden that they have shouldered. The coalition provides some advice to that, and we understand that it is a threat that some of the detainees might want to break out and be free.
My organs are out.
Some say they just want to go home, like this man who says he's British.
To leave prison, to go back home, my family.
Since Turkey's incursion into Syria to drive the Kurd-dominated SDF away from its borders after decades of conflict with Kurdish separatists, the Kurds say about 800 alleged ISIS fighters have escaped from prisons like this one near Hasaka. Many foreign fighters and their families are held in prisons and camps, their home countries refusing to take them back to face trial, even as the guards dwindle in number and join the fight against Turkey.
We're holding thousands of ISIS fighters right now, and Europe has to take them. And if Europe doesn't take them, I'll have no choice but to release them into the countries from which they came, which is Germany and France and other places.
The US president has celebrated the death of ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi.
Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi is dead.
An estimated 70,000 women and children from ISIS areas are housed in this camp alone. Some of the so-called caliph's followers remain defiant here even after his death.
سمعتوا عن خبر مقتل البغدادي؟ لا إن شاء الله ما قتل. ها؟ ما سمعتي الخبر؟ لا ما اسمع خبر. الرئيس الأمريكي امبارحة نفسه طلع وأعلن مقتل البغدادي. والله كذاب بإذن الله. هل تستفادين مني ولا فياش؟ بس خليش تروحين حاول شخصيا. قبل ما أسوي شيء. مالكم زعلانين الخليفة قتل؟
لا ما احنا زعلانين الولاد بداله 100 واحد. شنو يعني ولا قتل؟ فاكرين خلص.
Such threats are being passed down a generation.
وإن شاء الله ده يجيكم نهار بدك تتحسروا هيك. إن شاء الله بدكم تصيروا حسرتنا ها. كل إن شاء الله بدك بدنا نحصركم نحن ها. لا تفكروا أن الدولة خلص انتهت.
Sam Kiley, CNN.
And finally tonight, two huge skeletons pop out from the streets in Tlahuac, Mexico. Neighbors took advantage of the Day of the Dead holiday to cover the imperfections of the pavement with giant skeletons. The skulls seek to get the attention from authorities to repair the streets. That's it for World News. Back to Callan and Nolan at the desk.
When we come back in entertainment, we'll take a look at Hollywood's best Halloween costumes.
And Disney announced a spin-off series of one of Disney Pixar's most popular gangs.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome. I think we're breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial.
We taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
You know, Nolan, it was really windy today.
There was actually a tornado watch, actually.
Really?
Around this area today, yeah.
Well, Drew Weibel, or should I say Michael Myers, has this week's forecast.
Oh, geez, it's hard to breathe in that thing. Anyway, happy Halloween, Shippensburg University. Tonight, you're probably looking forward to getting some treats, but it looks like old Mother Nature is only handing out tricks. Unfortunately, storms are expected to head our way this evening, along with a low of 40. It's also very windy outside, so be careful of that. Tomorrow, however, things are looking to clear up a bit with a high of 48. Now, as for the 5-day, it's a lot of the same, with temps remaining somewhere in the 50s throughout the week, complemented by sunny skies with maybe a few clouds here and there. While tonight's weather may not be ideal for trick-or-treating, the rain certainly gives a great excuse to stay inside and watch some good old-fashioned scary movies. That's This Week in Weather. Now over to Brandon for entertainment.
Every Halloween, celebs go all out with their costumes. Here are some of the most unique ones. Jessica Biel admitted on Jimmy Fallon she did not know any NSYNC songs, which her husband Justin Timberlake was a part of. She dressed as him from his 90s days, bringing him along as the microphone. Gabrielle Union made a throwback to her Bring It On days. She dressed in the same cheerleading uniform she wore while filming, and also dressed her daughter the same. Kourtney Kardashian posted the lyrics "No Tears Left to Cry" along with a picture of her dressed like Ariana Grande. Kevin Hart threw it back. He dressed like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in his younger years, wearing the popular fanny pack. IMDb has put together a list of the top 100 Halloween movies of all time. Here are a few of the movies and their ranks. Hocus Pocus, to no surprise at all, is at the #1 spot, being the best Halloween movie to watch. Another popular movie series by Disney was Halloween Town, which ranked #4. This gave us the classic magic spells and potions that we all wanted to see as kids. We all remember the Charlie Brown movies. Well, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown came out at #13. There are many more movies on this list, but these are the most talked about movies from our childhood. Disney Pixar has announced another new original series for Disney+. Disney wanted to create a series based off Toy Story 4's new character, Forky, called Forky Asks a Question. The toy keeps asking questions to his friends, some being about life. Some questions include, what is time, and why are bees dying at an alarming rate? There will be 10 shorts about these questions. This will air November 12th when the streaming service premieres. Zombieland 2, Double Tap, hit theaters recently, and it's a perfect Halloween flick for those who prefer laughs to scares. Woody Harrelson, Emma Stone, Jesse Eisenberg, and Abigail Breslin return as a band of zombie apocalypse survivors who pick up where the first film left off a decade ago. Having taken up residence in the ruins of the White House, their lives are upended when Little Rock, played by Breslin, runs away to a pacifist commune. The others, who include Harrelson's Tallahassee, Stone's Wichita, and Eisenberg's Columbus, set off to rescue their friend from a swarm of approaching undead. So does this movie live up to the cult classic original? The answer might depend upon your expectations. On one hand, the script lacks energy or warmth and is salvaged only by the comic timing of the capable leads, all of whom are Academy Award nominees. However, if you came for the well-shot action scenes and over-the-top zombie kills, you will not be disappointed. In addition, while I won't spoil the mid-credits bonus scene, it is easily the funniest part of the movie. This is a film which knows how absurd and silly its premise is, and rather than take itself too seriously, it leans into its own stupidity. The main characters have terrific chemistry, a trait lacking in the supporting cast. The addition of Zoe Deutsch's Madison is particularly unfortunate, since she adds little to the plot and proves unable to carry off even the most straightforward of scenes. Overall, this slapdash sequel fails to capture the magic of the initial sleeper hit. However, as a piece of Halloween-appropriate comedy, it meets the mark, and throws in a couple great zombie slangs as well. Former Bachelorette star Hannah Brown realized that Dancing with the Stars is just as stressful as being on The Bachelorette. Brown was chosen as the Bachelorette at the beginning of this year. Her season was named one of the most dramatic seasons to date. She went through so much heartbreak, and she hoped being on Dancing with the Stars would, quote, be a fun way to channel all my energy after a whirlwind experience as the Bachelorette, end quote. The judges told her she seems disconnected from the dance each week, and Hannah Brown commented on that. She comments, quote, I want to be able to feel free and confident to dance with my whole heart, end quote. That's it for entertainment. Back to you guys at the desk.
When we come back in sports, field hockey rolls Frostburg State.
SUTV Sports' Mackenzie Mitchell has more after the break.
Football was on the road this past weekend at Kutztown. The Raiders were looking to continue their success from homecoming weekend, but the Golden Bears had different plans. Ship was dominated throughout the whole game and lost 55-5. Ship is back home this weekend as they host Lock Haven. Patrick Ramsdale had the chance to sit down with Captain Kyle Haynes to talk about the upcoming game against Lock Haven. While the Raiders have not had the most ideal season, the team remains focused week after week. Haynes had this to say about the team's mentality going into this week.
Each week we have the 1-0 mindset. We're not looking to the future, we're not looking to the past. Each week we're looking, this week's Lock Haven, preparing for Lock Haven, we're going 1-0, that's our mindset.
He also had the chance to talk to Coach Mack about the rest of the 2019 season. Coach Mack told SUTV what he told his team about finishing out the year strong.
Well, listen, we need a win, and I talked to him this week about 2-6 is in the past. We got a 3-game season, and that's what we got to focus on right now. We got to get better. We got to work harder. We got to play with more passion, and we got to limit mistakes.
Make sure to tune into SUTV this Saturday for live coverage of the game. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. Women's field hockey got a win last night at Frostburg State with a score of 6-1. Junior Yasmin Petrantonio had 5 goals herself, including 3 in the first quarter. She finished the game with 19 shots and 11 shots on goal. Late in the third quarter, Jenna Slumer puts it into the back of the goal to make the score 4-1. Shippensburg finished with 30 shots on goal, while Frostburg State only managed 3 shots on goal. With last night's win, the field hockey team has secured the number 3 seed in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference tournament. The team will finish the regular season tomorrow at Slippery Rock. Men's soccer was at East Stroudsburg and fell 7-1. Shippensburg lone goal was scored by sophomore Corey Ferguson. Ship looks to bounce back as they host Westchester this Saturday at 2. It was also a rainy night for women's soccer in East Stroudsburg as the Raiders took on the Warriors. The Raiders scored only 1 goal by freshman Lauren Ocker, but unfortunately couldn't keep up with the Warriors' 4 goals. Sophomore keeper Casey Doss had 8 saves in the match. The Raiders lost, but will be back in action this Saturday facing Westchester at 4:30 for Senior Day. Ship junior Emily Hangen was named PSAC Southeast Division Volleyball Athlete of the Week on Tuesday afternoon. Hangen controlled the Raider offense that combined a 220 in weekend victories over Millersville and Westchester. She averaged 12.7 assists per set, totaling 89 overall, while also recording 23 digs, 2 blocks, and sneaking in 4 kills without an error. Hangen and the rest of the team will host Kutztown tomorrow night at Higas Fieldhouse. Ship competed in cross-country PSAC championships last weekend. SUTV's Brandon Rowe has more.
The Shippensburg University cross-country teams recently competed at the PSAC Conference Championships. The men's team finished 3rd overall and was paced by freshman runner Chase McNair, who finished the 8K course in a time of 26 minutes and 4 seconds.
They're adjusting, they're getting in the long runs, and they're learning to manage, and we've come a long way in the last several months, but we still have a long way to go. We're competing against guys that are doing, 80, 90, 100-mile weeks, and that makes a big difference with the endurance.
All 11 finishers for Shippensburg University men's cross-country team were underclassmen, with 8 freshmen and 3 sophomores completing the course.
It's definitely a huge adjustment for the men going from high school to college because they go from 5K to 8K.
The women's team finished 8th overall and was led by freshman Isabel Golgert, who placed 11th and was the 3rd fastest freshman in the field, posting a 6-kilometer time of 23 minutes and 9 seconds.
Throughout the season, we've had some ups and downs with the women's team. We've been dealing with some injuries to some of our returners.
The men's cross-country team will compete at the Mideast Regionals in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania on Saturday, November 16th on the Lehigh cross-country course. Reporting for SUTV, I'm Brandon Rowe.
Last week, our very own Jack Inslee introduced the first of our latest Hall of Fame inductees. This week, Jack goes more in depth on Shippensburg football player Chris Gicking.
Chris Gicking, class of 2000, played 3 seasons as a quarterback for the Red Raiders.
This is a team award and a coach's award and a Shippensburg program award. This is not an individual thing.
Over those 3 seasons, he broke many records, including career passing record with 6,365 yards. He had 25 career passing touchdowns and a record-breaking pass rating of 161. In 1999, he won the PSSA Western Division Offensive Player of the Year award. For SCTV Sports, I'm Jack Ainsley.
Tune in next week to keep up with this year's Hall of Fame class. For SCTV Sports, I'm Mackenzie Mitchell.
When we come back, the History Center in Rochester, Minnesota is celebrating Halloween in a unique and creepy way.
Stay tuned. A creepy doll competition in Minnesota just in time for spooky season. SUTV's Danielle Williams has more.
Minnesota held a creepy doll competition ahead of Halloween, and boy did it deliver. It showcased parts of their collection that don't normally get attention. Many of the dolls are more than 100 years old, with time taking its toll. They weren't originally meant to be creepy, but now some look like they're watching you, or plotting something sinister. The History Center of Olmsted County in Rochester, Minnesota ran the competition from October the 16th until Thursday the 24th. Each day, a photo of a new creepy doll or figurine was posted on the museum's Facebook page, and participants voted for the ones they found the creepiest. The top 3 winners will be announced Monday and put on display. This is Danielle for SUTV News.
I wish a place around here can have some kind of creepy competition like that. Would be really cool.
Oh my gosh, no, that is so creepy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with her. No.
That's it for SUTV News. I'm Nolan Hoffman.
I'm Callan Cole.
And I'm Mackenzie Mitchell. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website, sutvnews.org.
We'll see you next week.